January is National Blood Donor Month, and this year marks the 52nd anniversary of the event, which is a time to recognize the importance of giving blood and platelets. So joining us now is Dr. Michael Tees, a hematologist and oncologist with the Colorado Blood Center Institute. And first of all, tell us a little bit about the difference between donating blood, platelets, and plasma, and how each of those are used.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me today. I think blood donation and blood product donation is ever so critical, especially in the era of COVID. We forget that patients still need their surgeries, they still need our treatments for our patients, and blood products and blood components are absolutely critical during this time. But there are some differences between giving blood and giving platelets, for example. Platelets are a little bit different than giving blood. And when you give blood, actually the components are separated out amongst the different needs that different patients have. But when you give blood, you are actually helping more than just one person many times. And many times when you're giving blood, you're also helping your neighbors because the blood donation actually tends to stay in the region that you're donating.
That's awesome to hear. Tell us too a little bit about plasma and platelets and what people need to know about donating those.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different for donating plasma as well as platelets, but it's a little bit more involved. Sometimes patients, though, do need those products, despite it being a little bit more involved. And sometimes that's identified during your first donation as, oh, well, maybe you could come back and also donate platelets, for example. Just a little bit more involved. I'm not going to go into all those details, but the important thing is that you are giving an altruistic donation of the most important gift that you could give somebody.
Right. And I know at the beginning you talked a little bit about how important these donations are. Tell us just, how crucial they are for the Colorado Blood Cancer Institute.
Yeah, so thank you for asking that. For our patients with blood cancers and blood disorders, it is absolutely critical that we have a steady supply of the blood products that our patients need. For us to give the treatments, which include stem cell transplants, for example, there is a period of time where the production system for our patients is entirely compromised. And so we do have to support these patients along during these treatments. In fact, it's so important that we're celebrating our 30th anniversary, and we've partnered with Vitalant, our local blood donation program in the region, to promote blood donation. And January is a perfect time with the new year to be celebrating life and donating that gift.
Absolutely. And it's pretty easy to do, but some people still hesitate. Fear of needles, maybe just being worried about COVID exposure. What would be your message to convince someone to donate and the importance of doing that?
Yeah, so I guess the message would be is that you are giving the gift of life. And with everything nowadays, there's some unknowns about the risks of exposure to COVID, for example, but all of it is done in the most clean and most safest precautions for our donors. So I think that doesn't have to be a concern. And if they are concerned, they could always reach out to the blood donation program and ask some specific questions on that, because each place might be a little bit different.
Absolutely. I liked your answer to that. It's just saving a life, which is, one of the best things people can do. How can people donate blood this month if they're interested?
Yeah, so the first step are probably going to your local blood donation program. So for example, in the Rocky Mountain region, that is Vitalant. So Vitalant.org would be one place. But if you could just Google blood donation, it will come up to wherever your local program is, such as Red Cross, for example, is a big donation program.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Tees, for all this information. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll have more information on how you can help save lives during National Blood Donor Month at cbsdenver.com.